Hey, a couple months ago, we went and we were over at a conference, and there was a lot of fun that we had going on over there.
It was a blast.
However, there was a teacher that kind of stood out to me that we told her what we were doing, and she said, "Oh, I've only been teaching for 10 years. This isn't something I need to think about." What were we doing up there?
I remember that. We were in line to check in. I remember that.
Yeah,
We happened to be by a lot of nice teachers, obviously, and we started having conversation while we
yeah,
were all there. And I remember that young lady, she's only 10 years into teaching roughly,
right.
saying that. And whew, did we educate her right then or did we just let it go?
I think we let it
Yeah,
go.
I think we let it go. We were like, oh, okay. Well, we're not going to sit here and tell you our thoughts about that. But what is your thoughts about someone that says, "Hey, I've been teaching 10 years. I don't need to worry about para or retirement and all that. That's so far away. I just want to keep teaching and living day by day or year by year."
Right, right. Unfortunately, I think that that comes back and kicks him in the pants a little bit later. I think that's one of those things where that's that financial ignorance.
Yeah.
We've done a video on that.
Mm-hmm.
And just pushing it to the side, not looking at it. I've talked to other teachers who haven't even looked at their para table. They know what para table they're on, but even still, they're 5, 10 years into their teaching career, and they haven't looked at it.
So they don't even know how it works necessarily or
No,
what it would take to
nope,
get that full pension potentially.
right. And so I kind of want to focus a little bit more on if I were a teacher 10 years in, what are my possibilities? What if I'm a teacher who's been teaching for 10 years? Can I retire if I haven't started? Yes. Yes, you can. Now, one thing that I would even say is, can a teacher who's been teaching for 10 years still retire as a millionaire? Yes. Yes, you can. And it's going to take some time and it's going to take some effort and it might not be, it might be a little bit hard, but yes, yes, you can retire and yes, you can have $1 million, over $1 million in retirement. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. Just know that para is not enough. Is para going to be enough in retirement?
I Based on what we've talked about and thinking about this deeply, most it won't be. We don't believe
Yeah.
because the cost of living adjustment that our pension has
Mm-hmm.
doesn't even keep up with inflation.
Right.
So that's one example. So most likely not. Yeah, you need money outside of your pension.
Right. Para is not enough, which means you need alternative and you need another leg to your stool. Plain and simple, here's the thing that I've come to terms with is I need to deposit $1,500 a month into a brokerage account. This can be a Vanguard, this can be a Fidelity, this can be Charles Schwab, into a total stock market index fund. With this, let me show you what happens. If I start with $1,500 as my first initial deposit, and then I grow for 25 years with a rate of return at 8%, and I contribute, once again, every month $1,500 for those 25 years, I'm going to have $1.3 million. So if I'm 10 years in and I start now and I contribute $1,500 for the next 25 years, I will have a wonderful retirement of $1.3 million. Now, what does that do for me? If I take out 4% minus 4% of my 1.3 million, that gives me about $52,000 a year plus my para pension there. So I've got $52,000 plus my para, and if I rough it out, if I say that my para is going to give me about $3,500 a month, and I'm looking for a little bit more, 3,500 times 12 equals, we'll solve that, 42,000. So 42,000 plus this guy, that's $94,000 a year that you get in retirement. Now that number right there is a lot nicer than just relying on your para. That number right there is 94,000. That's quite substantial. You can have a very comfortable life with $94,000 a year. Now, what if instead of an 8% return, the stock market did a 10% return? Well, now I have $1.7 million in my retirement account. So this just makes it that much more comfortable, that much more appealing in retirement. Once again, you can play with these numbers all you want. I'm over here on bankrate.com, and maybe you're contributing $1,600 for 25 years. You're getting a 10%. And you start with that 1,600 again. Right now you're up at almost $2 million just with an extra $100. Now, granted, you are getting the 10%, so let's just be conservative here. And what if you got 9? 9% puts you at 1.6. Right? What if you got that 8 that we started with? That would be 1.4. So you're getting an extra $100,000 because we had 1.3. Now we're at 1.4. So you can see that the time are compounding. 25 years. Yes, you're going to be teaching for a total of 35 years, but now you have this roadmap to help you get to a little bit more of a comfortable retirement.
So one thought, some of you might have freaked out when Justin said $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
We don't want you to freak out and say, I'm not even going to try because I can't do that.
Right.
If you need to start slow and start at, say, 100 a month, 200, build up, build up.
Absolutely.
The idea is to get to that $1,500, but some is better than none.
Absolutely.
Some is better than none. You might only have $400,000 in your investments when you retire. Well, that's better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So Justin's bringing up a big number, but it's that goal of like, that's how much a person might want to have to live off in a nice retirement that they're looking at.
Right.
So, and Justin went over compound interest and how that works. So make sure you know how to do that because that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah. Yeah. If you start, that's the biggest thing. Contribute monthly, consistently.
Consistently, yeah. And then always try to increase it without killing your lifestyle. You want to have some fun now. You don't want to just give up everything now, but you might have to make some sacrifices.
Right.
And keep increasing it to get to that number you really want to be at.
Absolutely. We talk a lot about maybe looking at your big 3 expenses, your house, your food, your transportation.
Yeah.
Maybe look at your living situation. Can you get a roommate? Can you do some sort of a house hack where it frees up some money?
That's a good one. Could you sell your $50,000 truck and maybe get a used truck for $15,000 to $20,000? There's $30,000 right there.
Right.
It's transportation.
Yeah. And then pay off your debts. Are you carrying around credit card debt? Are you carrying around a Kohl's card?
Yeah, Kohl's card.
I mean, these consumer debts, they have interest rates that are way up there.
It's true.
So getting rid of those as quickly as you can. Once again, teachers don't like me saying this part, but think about your teacher budget. How much are we spending on our classes? Not for you because you're retired.
Yeah.
But, right? Donuts, pencils, markers, these things they eat into our budgets all the time. There's a lot of different websites out there. I know it takes more time to go out, ask for donors, but it's money back in your pocket.
Right.
Go ask your admin if they have some of these supplies available as well. Let's pause for a quick second here. We just talked about you need $1,500 a month as a million to get to $1 million, right? 1.3.
Yes.
We talked about $1,500. We talked a little bit about cutting some of the expenses to find those ways of getting that $1,500,
Hmm.
turning over every stone. What about earning extra income? What are some things that teachers could do in school to get extra income?
They could coach for sure,
Absolutely.
sponsor a club.
Yep.
A lot of clubs, you get paid a bit of money to sponsor a club.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up another class to teach. Sometimes that's available.
Yep.
So those are some
Use.
ideas within the building.
Yep. Those are perfect. Um, in my school district, once you get your master's degree, it gives you a pay bump as well. But once again, if you're trying to focus in on saving that $1,500, you have to weigh the pros and cons of going
That's true.
into maybe the debt to get that master's degree. So, but there's also PD classes, which are relatively inexpensive as well.
That's true.
So you can get your BA plus 20, plus 40 in my district.
Yeah, we've known teachers like waiting tables at night, a couple of
Absolutely.
days a week,
Yep.
working all summer, working during holidays.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of side hustles too on top of that.
Perfect. So now we've gone outside of the school and now we're
Yeah,
doing side hustles like serving waiting tables, or what about Uber,
Uber.
Grubhub?
Yeah.
I mean, you could even just get a second job. You could start a YouTube channel, right? Let us know your YouTube channel in the description below, and we'll come subscribe. Airbnb. Do you have a spare room? Or do you have space in your garage? If you have a garage, you can rent out space for
That's a good one.
storage.
That's really thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
I like that.
So there's a couple of things that you can do to build more money, to gain more money. So not just cranking down the belt and trying really hard to save, but now we can earn more.
True.
And then the couple little things that I want to say is take control of your finances. Don't just pawn it off onto somebody, and don't just wait until, right? But start soon. Understand where you're at, what para table you're on, what your retirement could look like, and how many years is it going to take for you to be a teacher to get to there.
No, I like that. It's like losing weight. You might be 10 pounds overweight, and I'm going to deal with that next month or next year. Now you're at 12 pounds.
Right?
Now you're at 15. Pretty soon you want to lose that weight. So you want to start with getting ahead financially as soon as possible, because it's just going to get harder and harder. If this fictitious person we're talking about would have started earlier, they wouldn't have needed to do $1,500. They would have needed to do 700 or 500. So time is big. So start
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Start now.
Absolutely. So once again, wrapping things up here, the simplest way to go for it is invest the $1,500. Gets you to 1,000,000, 1.3 in the account. Then you can start pulling out. How you get there, I think that's where it's up to you. Are you going to tighten the belt? Are you going to try some things to save money? Or are you going to try to increase your income so that you have the money?
Basically, what Justin's saying is you got to have a goal. And we're giving this as an example of someone's goal. They want to have $1,500 they're investing every month, let's say. They want that 1.3 million because they want that $52,000. They believe their pension is going to help, but isn't going to be enough. These are very clear goals that you can have. You got to create your own goals, obviously, so it won't look necessarily like what we're talking about here. But if you have clear goals with money and what you want to accomplish with it, you're going to get there.
Yeah.
So that's why we're going over this as an example. And this example is also saying, all right, what can I cut out? What can I save money from? And then how can I make extra money? This is a very clear goal. And this person's looking at every option to get there.
Yeah. Regardless of your goal, start.
Start. Yes.
Right. Even if it is the $1,500 and you're starting with
$50.
you have to start. So we encourage you to start somewhere. We have set a couple of places up above with Fidelity and Vanguard.
Charles Schwab, too.
Charles Schwab.
We got to throw that third one in.
Throw the third
There's
one.
always that big three we talk about.
So look into them. Open up the Roth, open up the 401k, whatever's going to fit your needs. But there is things that you can do.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
let us know in the comments below, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Cheers.